What's going on, everyone? My name is Jags, and today we have the Legacies event quest with Hulkling and Wiccan finally coming to the game. I am very excited for these two because I've been saying they're coming to the game for over a year now, even before we knew what this month's event quest was going to be about, because, hey, Scarlet Witch had like 2 mystery synergies that never came to the game and never even got teased until, hey, we knew Hulkling and Wiccan, hey, because the Empire event, which I said, hey, was going to come out because, hey, mcoc Champions has been doing recent comic runs, CGR, Red Goblin, Immortal Hulk, Captain Britain, Null, like so many recent comic editions have been added to the game, and I was like, these two have to come, and this event definitely is totally based on Empire event. I mean, we knew Nova was gonna try to stop the Korean Scroll from having a galactic war in the battle realm, and it's exactly that. It's really exciting, and yeah, I mean, I literally said they were coming in June, and that's what happens. And obviously, it's Pride Month too, because hey, these two are married to each other. So first same-sex couple in the contest champions, which is amazing. It's really cool, these two characters. I mean, obviously both their abilities are awesome. Wiccan, I really want to get. He just looks so cool, and I can't wait to have him on my roster. But yes, this is about the Kree Scrolls. So obviously we have Super Skrull, we have Hulkling, who's half Kree, half Skrull. The main emperor of the Empire, right? We also have Taskmaster and Age of Ultron, Ultron, which we'll get into, and obviously Ronan, the Kree Enforcer, right? Alright, and obviously we've had Kree in the contest before. The first ever contest champions during the Battle Realm, when the Master who led it, defeated by Aegon and won his Isosphere belt. But he actually, before he did that, he actually fought a Kree soldier. Look on the left side, that's a Kree soldier. And you might even recognize like his helmet, because hey, in last month's side quest in May, we had the currency was a Kree coin. Like it was a fractured Kree coin. So that's like a little tease to this event, which I really liked. But anyways, we start off with Nova saying, hey, well, we're shooting from the onslaught of Galactuses because last month we found out that a whole entire army of Galactuses are coming to the game. Like, what the heck? And it's raining Galactus Devourers out there. I mean, I am so hyped for that event in August because we found out, hey, even Quicksilver might become a Galactus, Herald of Galactus. So that's going to be very interesting. But he's like, all right, well, we can't deal with that right now. Let's worry about this, and we need to find. I found out that a Skrull ship has been spotted near a Kree territory. We're at a Galactus crossroads. Literally, the words we were told about this event was a galactic crossroads, which is pretty funny. Anyways, Wiccan shows up, and he's like, about that, and then he like decloaks a Skrull warship. I mean, like, that's just so badass. He said this is the Sargnog, a Skrull refugee ship that has been sulking around the battle realm for a long time. So yeah, a little backstory: these Skrulls have been around for the contest for a long time. The Collector brought them into the battle realm because the Maestro was like, hey, I need thousands of different superheroes, and the Collector actually couldn't do that. So he just used Skrulls to transform into those superheroes. He was like, "This will do." And ever since then, once the Maestro got banished to Battle World and then died later on, the Skrulls kind of were free, but they were still keeping their identities. They were staying hidden. And we found out when kind of Squirrel Girl and Super Skrull came to the game is that Super Skrull wanted to start leading a certain group of them because the rest of them just wanted to stay in their identities, and he wanted to lead a group of refugees and take them out of the battle realm. Like, he wants to leave. I mean, everyone does now. That everyone like doesn't want to like die against Galactus, right? So this is pretty cool that we're actually getting more story because Psycho Man kind of kidnapped Super Skrull, and we didn't really find out more about that story. So it's pretty cool that they're continuing this. But Nova's like, he was like Teddy, Theodore Altman, Hulkling, the Prince of Space, and Wiccan's like, yeah, the whole Prince of Space thing. We don't do that here, right? Yes, he's here. So he's actually been prince-napped. He's been kidnapped by the Kree for something. He said that the cloaking device malfunctioned, so they were spotted by the Kree and they just kidnapped him. They gave him like an ultimatum. He's like, hey, all the Skrulls are gonna be in danger if you don't give yourself up. And so he was like, yeah, okay, let me do that so these Skrulls don't get hurt. And that's how it went down. Super Skrull shows up and he's like, hey, why are you with Nova? Come on, man. The Nova Corps has always had injustice against mankind, which is true. It's from the comics, so I like that they're Kabam and are building on the comics. I mean, a lot of this whole entire event is built off the comics. I think that's so cool that, if you're a comic reader, you're gonna get all these Easter eggs and references. And he's like, all right, fine, on one condition that the Centurion leaves my people alone. We're just trying to get our prince back. We do not want any trouble with the Nova Corps. Now, I know the Nova Corps and the Squirtle Empire have been at odds numerous times in the past. And had always been the fairest at times. Like I said, that's straight from the comics. He's like, all right, did Ronan give you any hints about what they're trying to do with Hulkling? Why they kidnapped him? My guess is a puppet emperor. And Wiccan's like, right on the first guess. Both the Skrull and the Kree empires have bad plays. Teddy up as an emperor in hopes that he would toe the line like they wouldn't that would ever happen. I mean, hey, empire event, right? Yeah, it's really interesting. Like I really wonder how this whole event is gonna play out by the end of it. And Super Skrull's like, do not worry for the plans for the Empire building. He's like, I'm not really here to do that, which is kind of not surprising in a sense. Super Skrull was like, first off, he was one of the best warriors, which is why he became the Super Skrull, because he got enhanced. And he's always been like a general, an empire, a leader, a fighter. He's never been an empire, an emperor, or something like that. So it's not too odd to see him like this. I mean, it seems like he's actually a good person, which is pretty cool, because you go back into the 60s when he's been first around, and you're like, yeah, this is just some typical villain who is really cool because he has all the Fantastic Four's powers, but what's his story? And I think this event does a really cool job at teaching us about Super Skrull. Like, hey, I'm not joking. Whatever it is, I imagine what Ronan wants with him. He's not the royal heir to the Kree, but he is still son of their greatest hero. Who could that be? And Wiccan's like, I don't understand. Mar-vell betrayed the Kree and became the first Captain Marvel. He was one of the Earth's mightiest heroes. Why would they celebrate him? Often in matters of propaganda, legacy is more important than facts. The Ronin soldiers could be seen as the prodigal son fighting for the wrongs of his misguided father. Now, obviously, they're talking about Mar-vell, the first Captain Marvel, which is so awesome. I mean, Mar-vell has been a wanted character for the contest for a while now. He's been referenced a few times. He was even on the Conch Champions variant cover. So he's a pretty awesome character. I don't know how different he'd be to the two Captain Marvels we have in the game and Miss Marvel, but it would be super interesting to have him in the game. This is like the first actual reference to him in the dialogue. Only the reference had been the bios of Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel. So it's pretty cool that we're getting that. All right, and obviously the whole prodigal son thing, we actually had an event called Prodigal Son, with Strife being the prodigal son of Apocalypse, and hopefully soon we'll have Legion being the prodigal son of Professor X, righting the wrongs of his father. That's what literally Legion is doing in the comics right now. I love it. All right, so moving on. It's like we're not that far away from the Kree homeworld Hala. Wait a minute. You said Kree homeworld Hala. So this is interesting because in the contest, in the battle realm, it's a whole amalgamation of different multiverses, spits and pieces spewed everywhere. And we've never really gotten confirmation on if there are other planets and what those other planets were. We kind of knew Battleworld was like the center of the battle realm, because, hey, that's where it was created by the Maestro, using like the debris of the Celestial who birthed the battle realm and everything. And we never really found out if there are more planets. Like, we saw them in the background and different things, but we didn't know, hey, Hala is not one of them, which Hala, obviously, like I said, it's a Kree homeworld. You've seen it in Captain Marvel, the movie, and you've seen it in various comic books and maybe even movies or video games, etc. It's really cool. I mean, it's totally for the Kree, which is really awesome, but it's interesting that the whole planet's there. Like, that's what really interests me. Anyways, this is really cool. So Wiccan says, all right, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'd say Clert. Let me know if that's wrong. Why name the ship Sarnak? It's a strange name. Is it some Skrull deity, territory, or something? Now, this is really heavy. Super Skrull says, it was the name of my son, who perished during the Annihilation Wave. Name the ship after him, so I would not fail these Skrulls too. Yeah, this is a super heavy thing to say, because if you know what the Annihilation Wave was, it's basically like a nihilist and his whole pest army started going over the universe and destroying everything. It was annihilating everything, just like it said. We had some awesome moments in that, but a lot of people died, including the actual world that Super Skrull belonged to, and we found out that this is actually wrong picture. This is his son right here. He actually has a son and a daughter, and his son was actually on the planet that Super Skrull is from, and the United States destroyed the entire planet, including his son. So it was a heavy toll for everyone, and they lost their homeworld. And yeah, man, that's just crazy. And the Sarnog ship, I don't know if it's from the comics, I don't believe so, but Sarnog itself is really cool because that's such a deep cut. There's only 2 appearances. He's been dead since the Annihilation Wave. Annihilation Wave, we have Nihilus in the game, so it's pretty interesting. Human Torch and both Nova had like some amazing feats in that storyline, but like I said, a lot of people died in that event, so it's pretty insane to have references to it. All right. Anyways, Taskmaster shows up aboard a skull-shaped ship. I mean, that's hilarious. Like reminds me of, like, Brainiac ship. And he's like, I'm here to get you, you young warlock. Looks like he got hired to do it or something. Wiccan waves his hand. We defeat him, and Wiccan just like teleports him out. He's like, boom. And Super Skull's like, damn, that's pretty impressive. Which is pretty awesome. And then Ultron Prime shows up, which if you don't know why he's called Ultron Prime, Prime isn't like the Prime version, number 1, Uno, right? The best version. Prime has got the ultimate body, right? And Prime is actually from the Con Champions art book, which is pretty cool because he's called Ultron Prime. Then the Labyrinth Ultron is called Ultron or Ultron Classic. So yeah, pretty cool. And also another reference is Prime is like we got Vision Prime in mar-vell Champions, and we know she's coming to the contest because hey, the Ultron Network is coming to the contest. So that's pretty awesome that maybe this is a little bit teased to that because we know MROC characters are coming. The whole Shogun Logan clan of Wolverine is coming. We even have Pirate Supreme Deadpool with Pirate Pool or Parrot Pool. We have Scar, Madam Web. I mean, I love MROC, and I cannot wait for that to happen. And this is, I think, is teasing Ultron Prime or Vision Prime, which is very, very exciting. But he's like, I'm here to collect my grandson, which is pretty funny because you're thinking of him, he's like an android, right? How does he have a human grandson, or a magical grandson, right? So yeah, he's kind of like claiming, he's like, hey, because Vision's my son, right? And Vision's your father, or one of your fathers, because Wiccan has many. His family dynamic is really weird because he's got like 3 different families, not even including Hulkling's family, like his step family. So that's like really interesting. Our in-law family is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, like that's so funny that he's like, hey, I'm here. But anyways, he's like, I want this because I saw an opportunity to curry the favor from the Supreme Intelligence. And that Supreme Intelligence I want to give into later because it's actually really important for the Krees. But I want to save that for later. He's like, I employed several mercenaries to track you down, so he hired obviously Tony Masters, Taskmaster, to do it, but he failed because he wants Wiccan for a reason. He's like, hey, I want to turn you into a sleeper agent so I can give you to the Intelligence Supreme, and then you're gonna go against them, and then I'm gonna become the biggest empire. He wants to get rid of these different empires. So yeah, pretty interesting. I mean, not totally against Ultron, right? Because from Age of Ultron universe, right? He wants to conquer everything. We even got that in What If. He wants to conquer the entire multiverse. So yeah, it's not. No one's pushing this past Ultron, right? Like, this is classic Ultron right here. Anyways, Nova's like, hey, the Dark Aster has spotted us, which is pretty awesome because that's Ronin's ship from, obviously, if you watch Guardians of the Galaxy or if you watch the Captain Marvel movie, you know exactly what that is, so it's pretty awesome. We find Hulkling, but he's, like, weird. He's, like, brainwashed or something. Like it's confusing. And he's saying, I've embraced the will of Supreme Intelligence. So it looks like the Supreme Intelligence has taken over him, which is very interesting. He's like, hey, Summoner, we saw Wiccan's blast of energy came as soon as we could. Speaking of him, where's your young Avenger friend? This is really cool because, hey, Young Avengers, man. I've been saying the Young Avengers have been coming because obviously we have Wiccan and Hulkling come to the game. I was hoping Patriot would come to the game because I said Patriot would come to the game, but we got Sam Wilson, Captain America instead. We still have Stature, which would be really cool because it'd be like the first, like, we already have Ant-Man, but we don't have Giant Man, and Stature can increase her size. Kate Bishop would be so awesome. She didn't join with her Disney Plus show, and Speed as well. This is only one version of the Young Avengers. We still have America Chavez as well. I think we have Gwenpool as well. I guess that's more West Coast, but yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm really excited. All right, so he said, yes, so we have told you there's a good chance Ronan exposed our Prince to the Supreme Intelligence and the true power behind the Kree. The Supreme Intelligence is a massive psionic entity with powerful psionic abilities. Yeah, so that's basically what it is. Yeah, I had a picture of it. I don't know where it went, but it's cool. So he's basically like a giant green head. And that's actually what we were supposed to get in the Captain Marvel movie, but it actually got cut from the film. And that's when we got the mar-vell weird thing in Captain Marvel, if you remember that. But it's just one giant green head. It's actually pretty cool. Anyways, Teddy isn't you. Don't do this because they're obviously he's not. He's like influenced by the sort of like the supreme intelligence. It's taken over his body. We've kind of seen that before in Captain Marvel in the comics, and he's fallen for it. So we can't really get Hulkling out of the mind control. He's like, I'm having you by my side, leads my reign. Battle Ram, that's a nice bonus. He's like, I don't care about love. I just want you near me so we can rule together. Well, that's the Supreme Intelligence talking, right? All right, Ronan's here. He's like, quiet, human. You should be honored to be granted the consult with the great Supreme Intelligence. All right, Nova's here. He's like, summoners around the corner and encounters a squadron of Kree soldiers. Okay, this is another thing. Cool. Kree soldiers. Like, that's like, we saw Kree, right, from the Con Champions, the first Con Champions. But this is still saying that they're around. Like, we have Super Skrull in the game is playable, but we also have the Skrulls themselves, which was like a teased and in the game files as a whole model and even a dialogue thing, but it never became playable. And, how cool would a Kree soldier be? I mean, it's a little basic, but it would be cool to, like, you have the Ultron drones, you have the Sentinels, you have the the Deadpooloids, the symbioids, the adaptoids. How cool would it be, like, the Kree soldiers, right? Like, and they have different, like mutant weapons or something like that, where they've been influenced by mutants, mutant genes, or stuff like that. Like, it would be pretty cool, Doombots as well, I haven't mentioned. But that would be so cool to fight, Kree or Skrulls or anything like that. Like, I think it'd be really cool. Anyway, Super Skrull barges his way up to Ronan and attacks. Wiccan prepares to spell Support Accuser, but is interrupted by a rocket punch from Nova. I suppose that leaves just me and you, Summoner. Come now. I'm sure off into the battle with an Emperor. And, like I said, he's Emperor Hulkling, which is so cool. Such a cool title. Which honestly, they're kind of teasing like this event with this Kree Empire, the Skrull Empire. We're still missing the Shi'ar Empire, which another thing is, like, that's why I think the Shi'ar Empire is going to join late next year, because they're teasing this, and even Ultron building his own empire as well. It's really interesting. Like, I want to see the Shi'ar Empire, and that could be Emperor Vulcan, right? Like, that would be so cool, the Shi'ar, or even Gladiator. I mean, like, it's really awesome. There's so many possibilities we could do, but focusing back on the story. We actually snap Hulkling out of it. He's like, hey, the last strike sent me flying and triggered my healing. It scrambled the connection with the Supreme Intelligence. Who knows how long it'll last. But the wizard, I love how he's called the wizard, blips in and out of existence like a freaking badass. Like, what the hell? Prince Dork, someone watch me, go free. So Wiccan has been influenced by the Supreme Intelligence. And dude, like, Wiccan is entirely overpowered. I mean, this kid is, like, I shouldn't call him a kid anymore, but this dude is insane. And so have a Supreme Intelligence, control his body with his insane amount of magical powers. It would just be terrifying. But if anyone can snap him out of it, it's his husband, Hulkling. And so hopefully, this is what happened. Billy, if you're in there, I don't want to fight you. You're my best friend, my husband. Don't make me do this. I love, like, how well the story is going. Like, you can really tell these characters love each other. Come on, Billy. Come on, fight it. If anyone can do it, it's you. You're strong in this. You'll ever be. You're the son of the Scarlet Witch, for crying out loud. Fight it. Billy, it's not here right now. Son of mar-vell. I have seized control, and I think it's time I rule the Empire in my own right. How does the name Emperor Wiccan Supreme sound? Which is interesting because it says Emperor Wiccan Supreme, and some people thought that the Wong synergy with, like, talking about Supremes, like Sorcerer Supremes, and Wiccan actually wasn't that, which is kind of interesting. Like, I didn't think it was him. He wasn't my first choice, but that does leave the way for another Sorcerer Supreme. But it's funny, like, Hulkling, like, responds, like, saying, hey, it's a little much. And we defeat Wiccan, and he's free, and look at this, man. Hulkling and Wiccan embrace and share a long overdue kiss. I'm okay, Teddy. I'm a little sore and discombobulated. Sorry, I love Eminem. But I'm okay. The important thing is we got you back, isn't it? Oh man, just a beautiful storytelling. I expected as much from you. So Super Skrull, they're talking about, hey, we're all coming together. Like, it's like that final stand, and they're like defeated their villain, and they're like, man, we really did it. And this is really cool. Look at what Noah says. Speaking of that, we made a pretty good team, didn't we? You know what? I have a proposition for you. Like, that's like totally like Nick Fury's. Like, we did pretty good. All right, now how about you want to join my team? Because obviously Nova is trying to make a whole cosmic team to assess these cosmic threats and fight them and deal with them. So you know, it's so much storytelling. I love this, man. This event was awesome. I love this event. I'm so glad it finally came to the game. These two characters, like I said, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I really want to get Wiccan. Hopefully, I do get him pretty soon. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this event. Let me know what you guys think. And obviously, next month is Thor: Love and Thunder with Valkyrie confirmed, and obviously, I believe it's going to be Gore. Jane Foster is getting a buff. I mean, it's going to be a great event. This event was great. Next month's event's going to be great, and I'm sure the rest of the year is going to be great. Hope you guys have an awesome, great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.